And I'm just going to break it down and give you all the information that I know about the Road King so that you know as much as I know. What's up, guys? I'm Sean from Srkcycles. What we're going to talk about today is all the information you need to know about a Road King before you buy one and to help you buy one. Let's check it out. I love this bike. This is a, what gen Road King is this? It's an 09 Road King. I'm not sure what generation that is, but we'll talk about all that different stuff. Alright guys, so I am a big fan of the Road King. And I'm just going to break it down and give you all the information that I know about the Road King so that you know as much as I know. I'm going to sneak around this guy. Don't worry about it, I'm going around. So, the Road King came out... I got to think about this one. When did the Road King came out? I don't know when the Road King came out. I do know it's not been out for very long. It started in like the 90s, maybe the late 80s. Because I had a bike. It was like an '82. It was like the predecessor to the Road King. And I don't even know what that was called either. It was Electra Glide, Electra Classic, or something crazy. So when you're looking at a Road King, chances are you're going to be looking at these 3-4 different models. 1, the 88 cubic inch Road King. 2, the 96 cubic inch Road King, which is what I'm rocking right now. 3, the 103 cubic inch Road King, or a Milwaukee 8, which is what the, like a brand new one, or a 2017, or something like that. And I'm going to tell you everything I need to know about it. I personally have... Alright, why do people love the Road King? One, it's the most classic looking Harley Davidson out there. It's very iconic. It is based on so there's multiple different chassis and frames when it comes to the Harley Davidsons. You used to have the Dyna, which you don't have anymore. And then you have the Softail. And then you had the FLH family. There's a couple more. There's also the V-Rod, and I think there's a slight difference with the Road Glide. But you got the FLH family, and that is the touring Harley Davidson. So this is essentially the exact same frame as you would get in a Street Glide and a Electra Glide or an Ultra Classic. When you look at it, actually, we'll jump off. There's no one behind me. When you're just looking at the thing, you can really see basically, because this is a classic, it's got soft bags. If that was hard bags, and if it had a upper fairing, you would say it's a Street Glide. If it had an upper fairing and lower fairing and a tour pack, you would say it's an Ultra Classic. It's the same frame. It's that same, touring Harley Davidson frame. Now, some of the differences are on the Road King, because they don't have a fairing up here. They've got the gauges down here. They also have like the neutral light and all that stuff. If it was an Ultra or a Street Glide, it would be up here. I like that it does not have a fairing, because when I'm riding it, think about this. All this that you're seeing right here, all this road, this beauty, all this you're seeing right here, you don't see. You look above the fairing when you're riding. So then all you see is that, above it. And I feel like it's taken away. Now, once you ride it, you get used to it, you don't notice it. But I just like it. I also like the idea that when you're riding on a hot day, that this fairing does not do as much as a full fairing would. which on a cold day, you're going to want that full fairing. But on a warm day, and let's just be honest, most of us are riding bikes on warm days, you either want a small fairing like this, or a small windshield like this, so you can still get some air on you, or just take it off. Road Kings look amazing with the windshields off. You just pull that thing up, no joke. 2 seconds, you have it off. 2 seconds, you put it back on. Super, super simple. It's a classic look. It's very comfortable, very customizable. You put your girl in the back, you go on a big trip. It looks good. You don't have all this extra accessories, you know what I mean? All the extra gauges that you really don't need. The radio, that I'm not gonna lie, is amazing when you have a radio, but then if you get used to it, then you can't ride with that one. It's better just not having one ever, because then you're just thinking about life. Or do what I do, and I've got a radio in my headset. This is the same pretty much ergonomics, seating position of the Ultra Classic or a Street Glide. You always get highway bars on it. You always go big on the handlebars. Personally, I think Road Kings are best when you go wider. Beach bars out to here. I love it. I love that feeling. What's nice on a hot day, take that windshield off, let that wind just hit your chest and cool you down. Have a lot of fun doing it. It's a great feeling. On a hot day when you're riding a full fairing bike, you're just as hot when you're moving, you know? And I know the newer ones do have a windshield, you know, like vents and stuff in there. Let's talk about the difference in the engines. And then the Road King made a pretty big difference around this year when they started doing throttle by wire. And this is not just the Road King. This is all the Harley Davidson touring bikes, where they went from cable throttle to throttle by wire, which is a great change. And they also went from a smaller rear tire to a much wider rear tire, which, you know, a lot of guys had no problem with. Although the only people I've ever heard who had a problem with it was, you want to guess who it was? Guess who it was? You have no idea. The police department. I know what you're thinking. You're like, what do the cops care? The cops had a problem with it because if you ever seen, and they had a problem with it for their own bikes, for their own police cruiser bikes, because those guys know how to drive. They're tight maneuvering corners, very, very tight cornering and maneuvering. They felt much better. It handled better. It felt more nimble on a narrower tire, which is absolutely right. It definitely would. But what's nice about a bigger tire is you have more. I mean, most people, only cops really, let's just say only cops are actually riding their bikes that nimble, that tight. It's very impressive. I would love to go to one of those schools. If anyone can get me into one of those schools, I will bring my own bike. And I'll drop it a million times. I will turn the wrong one. I will definitely bring my own bike. I'd love to do it. But, so that happened somewhere around this year, somewhere around like the 08, 09 chassis. And I think that's also when don't quote me on this one, that's about the same time when they made like a two-part frame so that they could build their own trikes. That may be a couple years later. At some point in time they did that. Don't quote me on that one. Someone's gonna tell me I'm wrong or I'm right. So the Road King that I have, and this was from, Harley Davidson did the 88 cubic inch from 99 to 2006. And then in 2007, they went to the 96 cubic inch. The 96 cubic inch, they went on that, depending on the bike, but they did that until like 2011. And then at 2012, it's going to be the 103 cubic inch. And then in 2014, you have the whole Rushmore body style change, and that's the different gauges and different knobs and stuff like that. We're not going to talk about that. So an 88 cubic inch Road King is only gonna be a 5-speed. It's not gonna have as much power. Every single year, they get bigger engines, more power, and a little bit smoother. Not that, like, not to say that you got to get the newest one. I've ridden the newest ones, and I'm very, very, very happy when I hop on my 2003 Harley Davidson Road King anniversary bike with the hard bags that has an 88 cubic inch motor in it and 117,000 miles on it. I love riding it. I'm happy. Honestly, I couldn't care less about the 6-speed. That's why a lot of guys are like, oh, I want the 6-speed. I'm like, why? How fast are you going? You know, I could cruise at 95, 100 miles an hour on my bike, even more with my 5-speed. The 6-speed, you know, are you trying to cruise at 130? They really can't do that. Now your RPMs will be a little bit lower when you're cruising, but as I recall, the final gear ratio for the extra 6-speed was not that big of a difference from the 5-speed. Maybe I'm wrong, but I have not noticed it. So then that's the 88. You step up in 2007, they started the 6-speed, unless you have a Dyna, which doesn't make any sense. For some reason, Harley took the Dyna, not even the Softail, and they're like, a year before they put it in the other bikes, they're like, let's put a 6-speed in the Dyna before we do it in anyone else. I have no idea why. Someone might have an answer for you. Maybe Matt Laidlaw knows. So in 07, you get the 6-speed and you get the 96 cubic inch motor. That's what I'm riding right here. It's a great bike. It's a little bit smoother and has a little bit more power. Even a bike like this bike has 35,000 miles. This thing will run for a long time. The 88s ran very, very, very long. They did have a major issue, and that was with the cam chain tensioner. And it was like they would eventually wear out, and then if you let it break, if it actually broke, that means like the cam chain broke, and you got metal hitting metal, you got pistons touching valves and stuff. It's bad. You don't want it to happen. If it breaks, it's a big deal. You're pretty much like redoing the engine. Now, if you get one and it hasn't been done yet, it's not that big of a deal. You just get it done. It's, I don't know, $600 maybe. Not a huge deal. It's nice to get done. Most of the bikes out there, unless you find a bike where it has really, really, really low miles on it, like crazy low miles, like, you know, like 1,000 miles, then you know the guy didn't do anything to it because he never rode it and he didn't need to. Normally that fail would happen around 30,000 miles. That's why if you find a bike, if you got a bike with, you know, with 35 or 40 or 50 or 60,000 miles, which I have, you know, most of the bikes, we have a lot of bikes with those many miles, it's already been done. They didn't last more than 30,000 miles. Sometimes between 15 and 30,000 miles is when they all normally failed. So most of them have been done. It's not really an issue for me. It's not really a big deal. Just either, you know, hope it's been done or make sure it's been done. The 96, I've seen these things. I mean, this one's got 35,000 miles. It feels very, very, very tight. I've seen tons of 96 cubic inch Harley Davidsons do well over 100,000 miles with no rebuilds. And the 103s, also an amazing motor. I've seen a lot of 103s. I've probably had at least 4 or 5 of them with over 100,000 miles. Also never been rebuilt and still having plenty of power, still very tight. The Milwaukee 8 still too new. I've not had any with high miles, but you know, Harley, I think Harley makes a great motor. They're beautiful bikes, very accessible. They, you know, let them have this the 4-post. You can take that thing off. So you can even put a tour pack on it if you want to. They do have the air suspension that you can adjust, and that's probably about it. That's probably about, man, I don't know, everything I know about the Road Kings. Not all the Road Kings had cruise control, but some do. Even in the earlier model with the 88s, Some have cruise control, but it was more rare back then. And these are the switches. One's for the spotlights. I don't know what the other one's for. Probably an accessory, extra switch. Awesome, guys. We will see you later. Subscribe. Look in the description link below. Support companies that support us. We're giving away a Dyna in a couple months. It's for free. Look in the description link below to become part of that. We just need your email address, and you gotta be a subscriber. Guys, I will see you guys later. Remember, it's not what you're riding, but where you're going. And as always, check out the description box to see our latest inventory and our killer deals, to see how to win a free motorcycle, and also to see our latest bikes and beards gear. We'll see you guys later. Remember, it's not what you're riding, but where you're going.